Let's see how to use the masking fluid. So masking fluid, when exposed to air, it will harden and it will form a rubbery kind of material, which is actually helping to mask the paper. So if you leave it open in the air for a long period of time, it can actually dry out. Okay, so when I want to work on a large area with for a long time with masking fluid, I prefer to take smaller but which has more depth. Okay, this kind of vessels in order to pour the masking fluid. Now, how to apply the masking fluid? We can apply the masking fluid in the same manner how we apply paint. Like using a brush, we will dip it in the masking fluid and apply it. Okay, but one thing that we need to be very careful is the brush that you are using, there are very high chance that the brush can get damaged. Okay, you know that the brush has a lot of bristles, lot of hairs like this, right? Every brush. So what happens is this masking fluid will get inside or like in between all these bristles and it can dry there. Okay. So when it dries there, what happens? All these bristles will be damaged. Okay. It will not come out of the brush and your brush will be damaged. So for example, this is such a brush which got damaged in a similar manner. You can see it here, right? So there is a lot of masking fluid which is sticking onto the bristles and I cannot use this brush again. So even if I pull it out, it will not come easily. Okay, this is how your brush can get damaged. So I'll tell you a few things that you need to take care when you're using a brush to apply masking fluid on your painting. So first of all, I am pouring this onto a small vessel. Okay, now what do? I take a brush. I'm taking already damaged brush. This still works for masking fluid, though I cannot use it for anything else. So in a similar manner, I will, like how you take paint with your brush. I will be taking this and putting it here. Okay, we can create any shape with masking fluid, like lines. For example, if I want to draw a line here, or a larger shape, like you can take a larger brush if you want to create larger shapes like this. Okay, it depends upon what area you want to cover. If you want to cover larger areas, you can apply use a larger brush to create the shapes. Okay, so this is how you do the masking fluid. Okay, see, now you see that it is liquid in nature and it will take some time to dry. Okay, so after using the brush to take the masking fluid and apply it there, immediately you have to come back and rinse your brush. Okay, in this manner you can take care that your brush is not getting damaged, that you don't allow the masking fluid to dry in the brush. That is what basically you do. So every time, every now and then, you have to come back and rinse your brush thoroughly. And when you're rinsing your brush, there is one more tip that I can share with you. You can have two bottles of water, 2 cups of water, one normal water. Similarly, you can have one more cup of water, which is soapy water. You can add a few drops of hand wash or dishwash into the water and create soapy water. So what you do, you can dip your brush in the soapy water as well as the normal water every time. So you do like this. You will use the masking fluid. You will apply the masking fluid here, for example, like this. And then what you do, you immediately rinse it off in soap water, okay, thoroughly, so that every masking fluid is gone. And then you take your normal water and again rinse it in the normal water. Okay, then you come back and you can again repeat the process. Okay, so this is what you need to take care in order to make sure that this masking fluid is not sticking onto your brush, okay, and damaging it. Right, so let's wait for this to dry. This has to be completely dry before you do anything in this area. And this is another important point that you need to take care while using masking fluid. First of all, before applying the masking fluid, this paper should be completely dry. Okay, the painted area. This is, see, this is somewhere. This is where I have applied masking fluid over a painted area, and this is a non-paint. And this is not a painted area. I have applied it over here also. Wherever it is, you have to make sure that the paper is completely dry before applying the masking fluid. Otherwise, what happens is it can mix with water and later on it will be very difficult to remove that masking fluid. Okay. So second thing, then you have to wait for this to completely dry. You see, some areas will be thick. Okay. All thin applications like light applications will dry faster. whereas wherever there is like little more quantity of masking fluid, it will take more time to dry. So wait patiently for this to completely dry before you start working on this area. Then the third point is, after you have worked on this area with paint, for example, after this is completely dry, you may be painting over this area. After you paint over this area, again you have to wait for this to completely dry. Only then you try to remove this masking fluid. That is the third step. Okay. The first step is the paper should be completely dry, and then you apply the masking fluid the way you want it to. The second point is you wait for this to completely dry, the masking fluid to completely dry, and then you paint the area as you want. And again wait for that paint to completely dry before you go ahead and remove the masking fluid. So these are the steps that we have to follow. And the remaining masking fluid, whatever you have, you can pour it back to the um, container. Okay, even if it has soap water, if you're using soap water, and if you're dipping your brush in the soap water, and still, even if it has soap content, it is okay to get it back into your vessel. It will be preserved for a long period of time. And whenever you are taking it, okay, see, if you are not using this for a long period of time, what happens is, there will be some sort of see, you can see some areas are dry inside, right? See, at the edges of this bottle you can see dry particles. So if you are not using this bottle for a long period of time, it can form a dry, what do you say, some the surface will be dry. Okay, so you will feel like this is not usable, you will feel like it is completely dry. But you shake your bottle very well before using, like take it and shake it well, and then you will get it in a liquid form. Okay. Now the masking fluid is completely dry. You can see that I can touch these areas and it feels like rubbery. It is a little bit sticky and it is rubbery. So this is how it looks like once it is completely dry. And I can now apply paint over this area. See, this will show through like this. You can see this, right? So here I had applied some masking fluid in these areas. See that those thin lines are able to see. This is an area where we splashed the masking fluid. Now what we do, we will wait for this painted area to completely dry. After that, we will remove the masking fluid. Now this area is completely dry. The painted area, the paint, the masking fluid, everything is dry. Okay. So now we have to remove this masking fluid. So how do we remove the masking fluid? Simply with your hands, with your fingers, you can remove the masking fluid, or maybe you can use a towel, like any towel, very clean cloth you can use to remove this. Or you get remover, masking fluid remover. There's a special kind of eraser called masking fluid eraser that can be used to remove the masking fluid. But do not use your normal eraser, the pencil eraser, right? Do not use it. I have seen some of my clients using it, thinking that like these kind of erasers, right? Normal pencil erasers, don't use that for removing the masking fluid. It will create lot of marks here, which is not good for the watercolor painting. Okay, so only remove it either using your fingers or using a clean cloth, or using the eraser, which is particularly for masking fluid removal. Okay, right. So this, since this is a very small area, I'm just removing this with my fingers. So you see, just do like this and it will come off. Can you see that coming off? Just like that, see, and then if you pull it, it will just come off like that. Okay, now here something which you need to be very careful, or you need to understand, is that this masking fluid will not work properly in low quality papers. Okay, so what paper I'm using here is Arches paper, and you have seen what is the masking fluid that I'm using. I'm using Winsor & Newton masking fluid. Both are of professional quality, very high quality materials, both the paper as well as the masking fluid that I'm using here. So this is coming out very easily. I have never faced an issue so far with using masking fluid, the Winsor & Newton masking fluid along with Arches paper. However, I apply this here, it will come off easily when I want to remove it. It will not tear the paper. Okay. So if your paper is not of good quality, if it is of very low quality, like student grade papers, the problem is when you try to pull off this masking fluid, the paper will tear off. Okay, That is a problem. You see the tiny dots that we have got here? You can see all those white colors when I'm removing the masking fluid. See, this is how the masking fluid is going off from the paper. Okay, just with the fingers you can do that. So many people have faced issues with using masking fluid, their paper tearing off or the masking fluid finally not coming out after drying, right? These problems can occur if your paper is not of good quality. That's all about using masking fluid for your paintings. This is how the final result is looking like. Wherever I have applied masking fluid, I removed it, and as I remove it, the white of the paper or whatever color was underneath it, it is showing through the painted area, right? So with this, you can use masking fluid creatively for many purposes, for creating a lot of textures in your painting, not just to retain the white of it, but to create a beautiful textures. You can use masking fluid. Okay. That's all. Thank you.